So I get this call, and he's basically in a war zone. So Collin calls me.
I think it was 7 o'clock at night.
It was because it was in the winter, so it was dark already.
Yep.
Got dark around 5:30, and my goodness, he made that phone call to me, and I just remember being scared to death, as if my own son was in a bad situation, and I was like, "You're staying on the phone with me the entire time." I think we went FaceTime, right?
Yep, to show where the meter was.
Hey, this is Jack Lehr here, and I'm here with episode 1 of The Lehr. So, coming to you here, super grateful to be a part of your world, and I want to introduce somebody that's incredibly special in my world. His name is Collin Boyer. Welcome, Collin.
Thank you. Wow. I'm glad to be here. I'm a little nervous, as you can see.
Collin, nervous? My gosh.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that, we're standing here right now, and Collin is not just standing on a couple reams of paper. He's standing on like 7. Yeah. So he's almost as tall as me today. We're having a lot of fun. But again, Collin and I had some great conversations prior to today's episode. But I just wanted to maybe bring you up to speed about how Collin came into my world and like the special things that he's doing in our world together. So, Collin, you were in high school, right?
Yep.
And you graduated.
2020.
18 years of age.
Yep.
And then Collin reached out. We had an advertisement for videographer, right? So Collin calls in. We had closed down the advertisement. And Collin calls in and speaks to Sarah Kane, our Director of Operations and U.S. Growth, and has this incredible conversation. And Sarah calls me right away and says, "Oh my gosh, you need to have a conversation with this young man. He's just unreal. He's only 18, but it sounded like I was talking to a 45-year-old. Kind of blown away a little bit, so I give him a call. And Collin, do you remember that conversation at all?
Kind of. It was mainly just kind of seeing some of the things that I was chatting with Sarah about, growing up, watching Tom Ferry since I was even younger than 18, watching some Grant Cardone, just some other stuff in the real estate field and investing side. So chatting on that a little bit, but the thing that kind of threw me off at the end was, okay, do a one-take selfie video. One take, don't re-record it, first take, and send it over. Just kind of, I believe it was why you want to get into real estate, why you want to join the team, and just a little bit about me. Yeah.
I mean, did you do it?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
And anyway, that led to a conversation and a meeting and getting together. So, Collin did this video, and he comes over, and I'm like, who's the 12-year-old? I mean, looks pretty doggone young, but again, the maturity of a 45-year-old and the wisdom of a 90-year-old. So he's pretty incredible, and I'm grateful that Collin reached out to us. So he came into the industry on our team as a videographer, and as a videographer, he also said, I want to get into sales. I want to get licensed, because you weren't licensed at that time, right?
No, I wasn't. You guys were able to welcome me in and even let me do my course in the office and stuff like that while I was still in the videographer position. So in between editing videos, I was taking my course. Whenever I first started, there were 2 weeks that I was still working at a grocery store. I moved down to York, was working at a grocery store in the deli. And so I would work there, I want to say about 6 o'clock to 2, 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, make the trip here, be here until like 5:30ish, and then do my course throughout there before transitioning into being the videographer.
Yeah, you're already showing that level of commitment.
Yep.
Way early in our relationship was something that Sarah and I saw, and everybody else on the team saw as well. So that was incredible. So, Collin, you joined our team on the videographer side.
Yep.
I think we're going to probably share a video of one that he did. It's beautiful. So we brought him down to our top line studio, marketing studio, our digital marketing studio, and Collin is shooting the video of us, and then we had, I think Sarah did the video of one that Collin produced. And what was that about, Collin? Hey, this is Jack Lehr. I'm here with Collin Boyer. Collin Boyer is a recent high school graduate. He is now our full-time videographer down here in Top Line Marketing and with True Dan's Realty. The amazing thing about this young man, 18 years of age, and has just really embraced life and really going after it. So I'm grateful to have him on. I'm grateful to be on the same team as you, okay? You know what's awesome about? Yes. So Collin, the best part about being on the same team as you is that I get to be with the star. Anybody ever watch the show Goldfarb? Well, if I was the phys ed teacher on Goldfarb, and I had to do a little bit of this and go, hey, Goldfarb. That's this man here, Goldfarb, Goldberg, baby, love it, Adam Goldberg. I mean, that's a level 2 star, right? That's like B-list maybe, and he's on the same team as Jack Lehr. We're so grateful to have you here, brother. Goldfarb.
Are we talking about the Goldfarb one?
It might be the Goldfarb one.
Might be the Goldfarb one. So I don't even know the guy's name. I've seen the show, but whenever my hair was a little longer, like it was at that point, who was it that I looked like?
Oh, I think it wasn't Fred Savage. No, that was from the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
It was Goldfarb.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know his name, but Goldfarb, Jack looked like the guy, the gym coach.
It was the Goldbergs, and
yep,
Goldfarb was the coach called the little guy Goldfarb. Right?
Yeah. So Jack had us shoot a video and introduce me as Goldfarb, and then it just, seen by thousands of people.
and made fun of by thousands of people too. So again, it was a great video. He put this together, but then I realized like the interest was fading pretty rapidly. You know, Collin had this incredible passion to get in the sales side. And Collin, do you mind sharing how you got fired as the videographer?
So I did get fired as a videographer. So someone, me and someone who was previously on our team we went into your office, we were shooting a video. I can't quite remember what it was for, but something with the team, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe it was agent attraction, kind of looking to bring some people into the team, join our team on the sales side. And, Jack was in his nice suit and had his sports coat on and his tie. His tie was not down in the center though. It was kind of diagonal off to the side, and we didn't really pay attention to that. Like Jack said, my mind was, I think I actually went to a showing while it was still being recorded, because I had an appointment, but I did sell the house, fortunately.
Yeah.
It was my first one I got under contract. But after I finished editing the video and showed some of the footage, Jack was not very pleased that his tie was off to the side because we didn't pay attention, and I ended up getting fired and rehired the same day on the sales side.
Yeah. So you made that transition to the sales side. When you did that, Collin, like, what did that look like for you?
Yeah. So it was just jumping hardcore into things that I was already doing with the team. So we knew I was going to make the transition. Didn't know it would be that quick, but I was already being brought up with the team to make some of the calls during our war room or join in on some of the sales training. So it was doing that, but at a way higher level. Yeah. So being brought on, taking some calls through our inbound lead sources, and just, like I said, jumping into everything way more hardcore and giving the position of videos to somebody else so that I could spend my time doing the income producing activities rather than editing videos, fixing ties, and
or not fixing ties.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we clarified that because you definitely didn't fix the tie. 3 hours of shooting, video editing, and that was a wonderful waste of time.
And now Jack doesn't wear ties on video anymore.
Nope, we just wear this. So yeah, Collin made that happen. Thank you, Collin.
Yeah.
I don't have to wear a dagburn tie for the rest of my life now, maybe except for a funeral here or there. But anyway, so Collin made this transition into the real estate sales side, and then like first year in business, okay? You're in your last month as an 18-year-old, right?
Yep.
And you were going to turn 19
Yeah.
on Halloween, October 31st, right?
Yep.
Was that 2020?
Yeah, of 2021, I believe.
No,
maybe not.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. You were 18.
Yep.
So Collin was getting ready to turn the age of 19, but as an 18-year-old, he came to me and said, Jack, what can I do to help enough people to do over $1 million in business my last full month as an 18-year-old? And like, I was just kind of blown away that he would actually come up and, put that to me. So I had a couple properties that I wanted to get rid of. And plus, Collin was just really going after it hardcore. Collin, what happened during that month?
Yeah, so by the end of the month, I put 11 homes under contract for $1.34 million. And in the market, it's not like we're working with $600,000 houses. It took 11 transactions to get to the 1.34. And I remember there was one of them was one that you owned. I had a client call in that wanted to see an investment property as a flip. And there was a property that was coming up that you wanted to let go of, that wasn't on the market. I called my investor, hey, I've got an awesome opportunity. It was a duplex and a single family right beside each other. Went and sold that one to them. I can't remember if that was the same month as the one in Marietta.
It was.
Went and sold another one of Jack's. So that was 3 of the transactions, and then did 8 more just on the normal side of helping people buy or sell their personal residence. Yeah. It was my first month I had a listing. I sold that. So it was a crazy month running around like a madman, because it was probably my second full month of actually selling houses. And was able to hit 11, which was nuts.
It was nuts. And the crazy part is that, Collin just embraced the systems, embraced the mindset, and really just went all in. And it's not about just like having a great mindset. It's not all about just having the systems and processes. Everybody says, you got to work smart. Yeah, but you got to work hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it still happens now. I mean, we're in real estate. It's Emily on our team. I've heard her say it, and I've been using it ever since. If your eyes are open, you're practically on the clock. Whether it's actually going out and meeting clients, or if it's working on mindset, stuff like that, to always just continue moving forward. And I still have those evenings, and there was a lot, especially in that October, where I had appointments at 7:00 in the evening. It was constantly talking with clients, seeing how we could help them. And we were working smarter. I think we worked smarter than a lot of other teams and people in the industry because of our systems, but there's no way you're going to come in and just be able to put minimal time and effort in and be successful. You still have to work hard.
Yeah, I think that's one of the myths out there is that, super smart, I'm going to be like work crazy, efficient. Yes, that's a part of the game, but working hard and putting that time, energy, and effort at a very, very high level, that's what Collin did. So Collin did those transactions in that month of October. And that winter, one of the things I remember is that I got home, got to the farm, and Collin was going to sell a property up in Harrisburg in the city, in not the best area. So he just turned 19, and I get this call. He's like, I got to find out where the water is, where the water source comes in for the meter for the sale of this property up in Harrisburg, right?
Yeah.
So I get this call, and he's basically in a war zone. So Collin calls me.
I think it was 7:00 at night.
It was because it was in the winter, so it was dark already.
Yep.
Got dark around 5:30, and my goodness, he made that phone call to me, and I just remember being scared to death, as if my own son was in a bad situation, and I was like, "You're staying on the phone with me the entire time." I think we went FaceTime, right?
Yep, to show where the meter was.
And we found it.
Yeah, and it was a condemned property. That was the scary part about it. I mean, it was it was kind of like Indiana Jones, where you're jumping over holes in the floor and making sure. So the house, in the end, the house sold for $18,000. So that tells you a little bit about the house. But it was condemned and leaning onto the neighbor's property.
And
It was
scorpions? Were you jumping over the scorpions?
Yeah. The boulders were rolling down the steps. It was a nightmare property. It definitely wasn't one of the prettiest that I've sold.
So I bring that up for a reason, because doing whatever it takes to be successful. Like, a lot of folks will take on the easy stuff, but they're not willing to do the hard stuff. So you probably didn't make a lot of money on that transaction, did you?
No.
You didn't retire from that?
No, not yet.
18K property?
Yeah, no.
Okay, very good. So doing whatever it takes to help your clients be successful, like that's what Collin does. So Collin, doing whatever it takes to be successful in this industry. So like, why do you do what you do?
Yeah. So I grew up in a very small family construction business. My parents split up whenever I was super young, never saw it, fortunately, but it's tough, going back and forth from houses as a kid. And I saw how hard, my family had to work, to be able to support us. And I was there alongside them, working in the shop, from a very young age, sweeping the sawdust off the floor in the cabinet shop and everything there. And in a small business, sometimes it can be super tough. So they went through the '08 recession. People weren't doing a lot of remodeling to their home. And at the highest point of revenue, gross revenue, they almost had to file bankruptcy. So it was kind of seeing what my family went through and experiencing that, to inspire me to go out and find something that I can do to be able to get freedom. So it's kind of the experiences being a kid, seeing that, seeing how tough it can be with the family, and the super rough times there. That's why I do what I do and really work, as hard as we do on the team here, to make sure that I don't have to experience that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Sometimes I get a little verklempt, but I gotta tell you, like when I hear that stuff out of Collin, holy shit, man! It reminds me a lot of like some of my stuff. I didn't have a divorce situation with my mom and dad. They love the living poop out of me and my sister, but just having that having that insecurity of the money thing. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Collin, like your passion for the profession of real estate, not just as a professional sales, licensed sales professional, but also as an investor.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what really got me into real estate. Growing up in that business, I knew agents since a kid, obviously contractors, investors, stuff like that. I remember clearly, it was about 14 years old whenever I discovered that you could own rental properties. And I was like, holy hell, it's like you can buy the property and build equity in it and get cash flow. And that's what really got me hooked. And I knew I would do that, but I didn't know how I would do it. I just knew that you could buy them and be able to hold them. But eventually, probably a couple years down the road, I was seeing that, why would I not just become an agent? And you hear from everybody, it's, oh yeah, that'll be a nice thing to do on the side, or yeah, do a couple a year and you'll be good to go. But I saw that it was one of the vehicles that could get me there. And the more I learned about it on the retail side, helping people buy and sell homes, it really got me even more interested. So I still have a hardcore passion on the investing side. We still do deals. We are closing one today on the investing side. And I still really love that. And that's what got me into real estate. But just as much, I like listing homes, or I like helping people buy their own investment properties or find their forever home. That's really where my passion came from the business. It all started with investing in real estate.
Nice. So it's pretty funny. So Collin came onto our team, started being successful. He did a great job as a videographer until he didn't. And then, he made that transition to our sales team and has ridiculously kicked butt. Like 55, I think it was 55 deals or 55 clients that you helped last year in 2021 and flipped a number of homes as well. And the flipping thing. So that was a big part of my world for many, many years. And quite frankly, I lost my passion for that. I didn't want to touch deal with another contractor or manage another project or just have anything to do with it. And Collin came to me and said, what if I bring you a deal? Would you either invest alongside of me or be there for me and as a mentor or whatever it took to help him do some of these transactions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've worked on a number of them together, and it's different every time, whether it's, connecting with your contractor, having you schedule it to go out, or kind of taking a little bit more of the reins here, where we're able to schedule the contractor or get a plumber out there or just find a buyer because it doesn't need too much renovation. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the things Collin has learned is that it's not just buying and flipping a home. There's tons of ways to make investments, everything from subject to the existing mortgage, right?
Yep.
We've learned that. We've also done where we've put a home under contract to pay a certain price for the home, do renovations or not, and find a retail or an investor to wholesale it or wholetail the property, correct?
Yeah.
And sometimes we go in and do a good bit of renovations. Sometimes we put up the cash and pay for it all at once, or sometimes, just putting under contract and doing a novation agreement. Collin has learned all of this prior to the age of 20. And we're successfully doing it. And Collin, do you mind sharing how you bought your own home at the age of 20?
Yeah. Didn't get it at 19, was a little disappointed, didn't get to close on it because it would have been cooler to say I was a teenager, but 20 is still nuts.
But technically you were in a home.
Yep. Under contract.
Yeah. Living there, right?
Yep.
So you had an equitable ownership in that property as a 19-year-old.
Yep.
And you just didn't have deed yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So what was in there at 19. So we do a lot of off-market marketing. That's how we've gotten practically all of our investment deals we've done together. I connected with the seller, went and met with them, saw, or got the situation that they were in. It was a family situation where they needed help, couldn't make the payments. So we went and we were able to take that over for them. The property needed renovated. We were originally going to renovate the home and sell it.
Yep.
But just one day, I was obviously 19 years old living with my family. So I called Jack and we were kind of going over some of the stuff about maybe me getting a mortgage, or I brought up something to rent and he was like, don't do that. You buy your own house. And we were going through and it just so happened that it was the perfect location, bought at an incredible price. It was, I want to say there was like 30% equity or something in the house. I can't remember.
A little bit more.
I can give the numbers. So we had it under contract for $185 and it appraised at $245.
Yeah.
So
with minimal renovations.
Minimal renovations. Yeah. So that's kind of how I bought my own house. I met with him. It was an off-market opportunity and something that a lot of the times we would have renovated and resold it, but I was able to go in and couldn't have done it without Jack. He was there for the meetings. That was one of our first ones, so I had no clue in the world really what we were doing. And yeah, was able to close on it a few months later and have my own home with a ton of equity already just by doing the same things we did for our other investments.
And not many people know this, and I'm even hesitant to even say this, but one of the things I just like, we see so much potential in Collin and just want to help him and help him be successful. You know, I gave up all my equity to make sure that Collin got a house, and that was a beautiful thing for me. Yeah. I kind of love this kid. Yeah. So Collin does have a work mom, Sarah Kane, right?
Yep.
And then, you know, maybe a kind of work dad, maybe a teeny tiny bit, this ding dong here.
Grandpa.
Oh. That's what I meant, kind of, you know? Man, he's brutal. So Collin, many, many times, this is one of he's so well known for this. So we go in to buy a house, and every time we go in there, Collin's the one that sets up the meeting. I go in, and they all look at me and go, "Why is he along with you?" And I go, "Well, Collin's the one that set up the meeting. Why are you bringing your 12-year-old son along?" But there's many times when they accuse him of being, 12, 14, 15, 19.
We had one person on the nose. One person that guessed on the nose.
That's right. So, down in Delta.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that. He guessed on the nose. I said, "How old do you think he is?" So they always think that it's me that I set up the meeting and Collin's just along, but I'm like, no. I said, "Collin set this meeting. I'll be inviting me in to see if this is going to make sense for all of us or not, and how we can potentially help you." Because we go in with a helpful heart, servant leader. That way, it's about helping them, and that's how we end up getting some incredible opportunities. So we're in this one property. And Collin, gosh, I'm trying to picture the house. I want to say it was down in Shrewsbury, and they were so dumbfounded that this young man was that successful in this business at such an early age. And you were probably 19 at the time.
Yeah,
that was about right time.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just love how they just gave him so much credibility when they learned that Collin's the one that had all of those conversations leading up to that meeting, right?
Yeah.
There's another person that we met with in the York Suburban School District. We didn't end up doing a deal with them.
Yep.
But they just couldn't believe it, and they were just blown away that this young man had such maturity and such wisdom. But Collin, I want to share something, and this is the age thing that he has a fun time with. So we're in a meeting, and Collin starts talking about, Jack, I don't know, he's 40, 60, 80, 70. It's all the same to me. So he's well known for saying that type of bullshit, but I still love him. So thanks, Collin. Yeah. Anyway, so Collin, you obviously have your passion for the profession, right? Share with me a little bit about what does the future hold for Collin Boyer?
Yeah. So obviously I can't see myself anywhere else than with the team. Just from that first meeting, and it's basically, I see this as a family. It doesn't really feel like, it doesn't even feel like an office. It kind of feels like just a place we come and work together. But given the opportunity to become the team lead recently, one of the team leads with Emily. So that's been incredible, but just looking to continuously grow with the company.
Yeah, we want to help Collin grow his business. That's not just, it's not about growing our business. We help you grow your business. In turn, we ask you to help us grow our brand, and we all win on that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, again, Collin, I'm super grateful. Are there any other parting words that you'd like to share with those folks out there that are listening today?
I really don't think so. I'm excited for this to come out, and probably I'll see you next Tuesday.
So we're going to drop this on Tuesdays, and as Collin said, see you next Tuesday. Make today great.